This episode of eHealth Radio is brought to you by UNatural, empowering your health. No matter the season or reason, Breathe by UNatural makes it easier to do just that. Our super simple, no-nonsense formula helps improve the function and health of your lungs naturally. A time-tested supplement formulated specifically for sinus, nasal, and lung support. Breathe in. Enter eHealth 15 at checkout for 15% off at unatural.com. Again, that's eHealth 15 for 15% off at eunatural.com.
This is the eHealth Radio Network, your source for health advice on demand. And now your host, Eric Michaels.
Thanks for joining us once again here on the eHealth Radio Network. This is your host, Eric Michaels. eHealth Radio gives you the most current health information, news, and advice featuring some of the leading innovators in healthcare and wellness who are changing healthcare as we know it. For more eHealth Radio reports, we invite you to visit our main radio channel site at eHealthRadioNetwork.com. Are you or someone you love being bullied? Then you need to hear what Jeanie Cisco-Meth has to say. Two-time best-selling author, professional speaker, educator, and parent, Jeanie Cisco-Meth shares her scientifically proven system for improving communication and decreasing conflict. Certainly need a lot more of this kind of information. And Jeanie, thanks for joining us here today on eHealth Radio.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And you're most welcome, and really looking forward to hearing from you today on this topic of bullying. So tell us, for starters, and maybe a bad question, but I think you understand why the question, what makes you an expert on the topic of bullying?
That's a great question. And what makes me an expert is my years in the trenches, so to speak, as a high school teacher at an alternative high, and then also the bullying that I suffered as a child and a young adult, and then helping people deal with this for years and learn how to not just survive, but to thrive, to overcome it and create the life of their dreams.
Yeah, anyone that's personally gone through and been a victim of bullying, that certainly would give you plenty of inspiration and motivation to do something about it. Now, speaking of the book, why did you write Bully Proofing You? What inspired you at this point to release such a book?
So when I was a high school teacher, I realized fairly quickly that the students needed more help than just reading and writing and health and things like that. And so I started looking at how could I help them more. And I realized because of the population that I dealt with, which was an alternative high, which means students who have been kicked out of mainstream, they're in gangs. You know, most of my students were in gangs, on drugs, had kids, were in this system, so to speak. I also realized that they had dealt with a lot of difficult issues, and I wanted to help them not have the revolving door through detention where they would come and then, get a handle on things and then leave and then be back. And so I developed this system to help them, and it was absolutely helping and making a difference. And then one of the teachers says, you should write a book so you can reach more people. And I was like, no, because I could hear my teacher's voice in my head telling me that I was too stupid, I would never make it. And then I realized, well, if I could help just one person, if I could help one person, save a life or help them live a dream, then it would absolutely be worth it. And by the grace of God, we've been able to help hundreds of people, maybe even thousands by now. It is a bestseller now, and I just feel so blessed.
Now, speaking of the book even further, who would actually benefit the most from Bully Proofing You?
Well, I wrote the book for junior high students and high school students because that was the population I was dealing with. However, I have had many parents, caregivers, businesses contact me and say, wow, we use this in our office because it helps people be nice. Hurt people, and healed people, heal people. And so it has a lot of stories in it because I love to teach by story, and it has examples of how people have changed their life, and then has a step-by-step process that you can immediately apply to your life or teach your children or other people that are around you how to deal with the external bully that is causing so many problems.
Yeah, the junior high age certainly is where to begin to focus on this situation of bullying and really appreciate the efforts that you have made to date and the impact that you're already having. Now, the name says it all. Breathe, You Natural's potent lung support supplement made by medical and herbal professionals makes it easier to do just that. Formulated for sinus, nasal, and immune health, save 15% with eHealth 15 at unatural.com. Try it risk-free for 90 days with code eHealth 15 at unatural.com. Today we're speaking with two-time best-selling author, professional speaker, educator, and parent, Jeanie Cisco-Meth, and she's joined us here today on eHealth Radio's Bully Information and Health News channels, a part of the eHealth Radio Network. Now, I mentioned earlier your scientifically proven system for improving communication and decreasing conflict. How does that actually work?
So what it does is it helps you realize that life is happening for you, not to you. First of all, it starts with belief in self. And so it's that personal value. I created a pyramid that's all over through the book. And the bottom part of that pyramid is personal value, what I believe about myself. Too often we allow others to decide who we are, and we allow them to stick labels on us that many times can stay with us throughout life. And as we start to believe that, just like I did in school, when they told me I was too stupid, I would never make it through school, I carried that label for a long time. It also is what helped me become a teacher and then, help more and more people. And so what labels do you have on you that you need to peel off? And what labels do you need to put on you? So that's the first step. And then the second step, it talks about perspective. How do you see things? Do you see things as helping and improving you, or do you see things as, a kick in the teeth, so to speak? I believe that my current struggles are building my muscles for my future obstacles. Now, nobody likes going through struggles, but it's kind of like going to the gym. When I learn how to deal with different situations and problem solve, I get better at it. Just like when I go to the gym, I don't walk in the front door of the gym, walk back to the rack, and pick up a 50-pound dumbbell. I start with whatever I can lift at the time. Our problems are the same. As we get better and better at dealing with problems, understanding them, unraveling them, we can handle bigger and bigger challenges. And then the third part is all about planned responses. I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes somebody will say something to you, and 2 hours later you think of the perfect response. That's because when emotion is high, intelligence is low. And so when somebody says something to me and I feel that emotion, hit me, I need to have some planned responses that I've already thought out so that I can respond, so that I give the emotion time to pass, and then my brain comes back online and I can think again. And then, of course, we have to practice it because we never get it 100%.
Yeah, that is a great point to be made and to take note of. When our emotions are really high, our intelligence is really low, and to be prepared for situations that could arise. We know ourselves and our weak points and our strengths as well. So this is certainly some very helpful information. Now, let's say there's someone that knows someone, or even they are personally going through any bullying or potential bullying situations. What is the first step that our listeners need to take?
Yes, absolutely. And so first of all, we'll cover if someone is being bullied. How do you handle that? Specifically, a child. So let's say my son, he comes home from school and he says, "Mom, so-and-so called me a name or said something." And the knee-jerk response is to immediately say, "No, honey, you're smart, you're handsome, whatever." I invite you to try something new, and that is ask a very specific question, and that is, what do you believe? And so when they come home and say, "Mom, so-and-so called me all these names," you say, "Wow, honey, I don't believe that. What do you believe?" And in answering that simple question, it allows them to realize that they have a choice of what they believe about what others say. And it is one of the most empowering things that you can ever do. And so that's how you help someone that you love or know who's being bullied. You ask that question, what do you believe? And then the second thing, if I'm being bullied, it's kind of the same thing. I get to decide, am I going to believe what this person is saying, or am I going to choose something different? Because we always have a choice.
Really some fantastic points made here today, and some great direction as well, and really good to have someone like yourself being an advocate on behalf of the victims of bullying, and to be in position to be of help. And speaking of which, how does someone reach out to you and get in touch if they need more help?
So I'd love for them to go to bullyproofingyoubook.com, and you can get a signed copy of my book there. I also have a workbook. I have videos for each chapter. It's a whole home study course right there that can help you get started right away. And that's bullyproofingyoubook.com.
Again, listeners, it is bullyproofingyoubook.com. Jeanie, all the best, and thanks for joining us here today on eHealth Radio.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Again, we've been speaking with two-time best-selling author, professional speaker, educator, and parent Jeanie Cisco-Meth that has a scientifically proven system for improving communication and decreasing conflict. And for more information, visit bullyproofingyoubook.com. And again, this has been your host, Eric Michaels, and we do thank you for your continued support of the eHealth Radio Network. Join us again soon for another episode that will help further expand your knowledge on those things that are important to your health and wellness. For more eHealth Radio reports, we invite you to visit our main radio channel site at eHealthRadioNetwork.com. And as always, we do thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in to the eHealth Radio Network. For more information or to subscribe to this podcast, visit eHealthRadioNetwork.com.
This episode of eHealth Radio was brought to you by uNatural, empowering your health. The name says it all. Breathe. uNatural's potent lung support supplement made by medical and herbal professionals makes it easier to do just that. Formulated for sinus, nasal, and immune health. Save 15% off with eHealth 15 at uNatural.com. Try it risk-free for 90 days with code eHealth 15 at eUnatural.com.